But if you can put yourself in a position to say, I want to keep God's commandments, and ain't nobody gonna stop you. You know, how much are you willing to lose to get closer to God? You know, because you got a chance to save your household. Because you're a husband, you're a father, and what happened to King David? Lord allowed him to get his household back. His household was taken away from him, but the Lord allowed him to recover all. You know, Job. When you read the book of Job, his children died. Right. You know, he had all his cattle taken away from him, but his latter end, the Lord increased him more. Right. You know, your son, he's walking in your footsteps, like Simba and Mufasa. You know, so everything you present to him, everything he's looking, it's trickling down. You know, as well as your wife. You know, the greater you are, the greater your house gonna be.
Have mercy.
All right. See that?
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you.
All right, now Israelites.
Give all praises to your house.
Yeah. Hey, you got a lot of work to do, brother. I got 5 kids, so my work don't stop. See that? As soon as I leave here, I got to clock back in.
So if I want to learn more.
Story, $1 million house. This society trying to make you feel like you ain't doing nothing, man. That's where the Israelites get rattled at. You know, I ain't got nothing, man. You know, trust it. Yeah. Because the Lord said, how can you serve truth? You know, either you're gonna bow down to the Lord or you're gonna serve mammon, which is your treasure. Because wherever your heart is, that's where your treasure's gonna be. Wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart should be. And our treasure should be in the Lord. That's why he said, store up riches in heaven, where moth won't get a hold of them, where it won't rust, where thieves won't break in. You know, now you don't work your ass off and still ain't got nothing for a BMW. And that next thing you know, somebody done broke in. You know. Now you don't work your ass off for a house that you never gonna own, because you still gotta pay taxes on it. Oh yeah. You don't pay them taxes, they'll let at your door. You know. You gotta go to the courthouse. Stand before an Edomite, Your Honor. Put your hand on the Bible. Do you solemnly swear? What you got the Bible in here for? You the rapist.
I don't put my hand on the Bible.
You see that? Donald Trump didn't either.
I don't put my hand.
He definitely did. They had that Bible right there. He didn't even touch it.
That's something we're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to.
And then once you put your hand on your heart, do you pledge allegiance?
We're not supposed to swear.
Do you pledge allegiance?
You know, don't even do that. I'm gonna say this right here. I did it before I came into the truth.
See that? Before you came into the truth. Say it one more time.
Yeah, I did it. You know, pledge allegiance and all that. I was in the military. You know, all that. You know, way before I came into the truth.
Before the truth. You said what? I was supposed to do a video on that.
What's that?
That you said all praise to the Most High that you brought it back up. You pledge your allegiance to?
Yeah.
You see a video on it? No, I said I was supposed to do a video on that. Pledge your allegiance? Yeah, who do you pledge your allegiance to? How y'all doing, family? Y'all got a minute for a Bible verse?
Sure, why not?
So, according to the Bible, do you find yourself in the Bible? When I say yourself, you, your ancestors, your father, your mother, your cousins, your aunts and uncles.
What version of the Bible?
Any Bible, any version. New International Version, New Living Translation, Good News Translation, King James Version. Whatever version you want us to go to, we're going to go to.
Yes.
So you tell us. We'll go to.
Yeah.
What version you want us to read from?
No. You said, do I find myself in the Bible?
Okay.
I do.
What are you identified as your ancestors, not a title.
Well, I believe that. I believe
from a child of God, man of God, woman of God. It says my people. It says my servants. So you gotta have the etymology and the understanding.
Right.
Yeah, let's get 7 Chronicles 7:14. 7:14. 7:14. So when we read this, we want to help you understand this. according to biblical understanding, not a man's understanding.
Yeah.
Because many of the prophets and apostles, when they taught, they didn't give the understanding according to man. They gave the understanding according to God.
Book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 14.
Right?
If my people,
If
which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways,
right?
then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin,
Right?
and will heal their land.
Now, right here, just based on this context, we can go to the New Testament, we can stay in the Old Testament, and we can go to the New Testament. Now, if we go to the New Testament, there's many ways I can go. Who need to be forgiven sins for? What people? And if we stay in the Old Testament, who was given commandments to not be in sin?
Well, it was the
Whichever way you want to go, we can go that way.
He started partially. He started part.
Yeah,
Hebrews.
the Hebrews.
His chosen people.
Well, that's you got Hebrew Edomites.
So
You got Hebrew Ammonites.
Are y'all Hebrew Israelites?
So like
Okay, you got it.
he already said, chosen people. So now, allow me to join them.
Bring it out.
And that's happened to be Isaiah 44, verse 1. Okay, and it's right here.
Read it for you.
I'm going to give the name of the chosen people. See, when you say chosen people, you identify one thing, but you're not identifying the name of the people. Okay, we go. Look at Isaiah chapter 44.
We got it, Elder. We got it.
Huh?
We got
Book of Isaiah, chapter 44.
Oh, am I being recorded?
it. No, it's probably dead by now.
Oh.
Isaiah,
Nobody moving.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1.
Them chosen people.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant,
Right?
and Israel, whom I have chosen.
See what I'm saying? So pretty much what you started on the table. I just said he gave you support.
So it say Israel.
It's Israel.
Now this is
The Israelite.
old.
very good.
It's the Old Testament. But God didn't change it.
That's right.
Malachi says he never changed. So when he created things, it stayed there. It didn't go away.
Right.
So Paul said, my people, his people was never cast away. So the Israelites, due to Bible prophecy, are those that was given the laws, statutes, and commandments, those that was lost, those that went into slavery, those that had their names changed, those where their ancestors were sold against their own will, those who the Bible is speaking of, talking about the Israelites.
That's right.
The same thing that Christ went through is the same thing that Joey Floyd went through.
So you talking about us?
That's right. If you're an Israelite, that's what you're talking about.
That's who the Bible is speaking of. So
Chosen people.
we're the ones being judged for our sins.
That too.
Isn't there like 7 tribes or 12 tribes? There are
12 tribes.
12 tribes.
Right.
I don't know why I thought 7, but I knew it was tribes.
7 is a biblical number too. It's a biblical number. So
He
we're the
12,
ones.
he was born on 12, 12, 12.
Oh, okay. That's
12,
a spiritual
12,
thing.
12.
So let me show you something. This is Deuteronomy. Let's get Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Deuteronomy 30.
Let me show you something. What we just read talking about our sins.
34.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, start at verse 7.
Look at Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7.
Start at verse 1 and then go to verse 7.
Okay. Look at Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse.
Because that's what Moses told our forefathers when they came out of Egypt. When we came out of Egypt, we was coming out of slavery. So we came away from building pyramids. When I say we, our forefathers. So it was a point where we felt like the Lord forgot about us. Even though we still knew who we were, when I say we, our ancestors, during that time, especially when you study history, things like that, because a lot of that stuff they had the Hebrew writings still within those regions. They still had the Hebrew customs, but they had to kind of secretly hide it. The ex-Pharaoh was going to punish them. So what the Lord say?
And it shall come to pass,
Right?
when all these things are come upon thee,
Right?
the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee.
Which is speaking on Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26. If you want to be blessed as a nation, then keep the commandments. If you want to be cursed, then you're going to disobey the commandments.
And thou shalt call them to mind
So remember them,
among all the nations,
right?
whether the Lord thy God hath driven thee. And you jump to 7
Verse 7. So
Verse-
if you do that, then the same thing that we had happen to us, because all of this happened because we disobeyed God. He's the one that allowed Moses to have the power to part the Red Sea. The Heavenly Father is the one that allowed Moses to go before Pharaoh and say, let the Israelites go. So these are the conditions that our ancestors were dealing with due to not keeping the commandments of God and not believing on Him.
That's right.
Because even though you keep the commandments, you still got people on the earth that don't believe in. And when I say believe in them, I'm talking about the Messiah. I ain't talking about Islam. I'm talking about some Christian folk religion. I'm not talking about this man right here. I'm talking about the Son.
What was the son?
The Messiah. That's what I'm talking about.
The Messiah.
Yahushua.
That's the real name. In the Hebrew, meaning he who saves.
This man is the Father.
It's not Yeshaya. It's not Yahuwah. It's not Yeshua. Yasha.
So I guess the person they call Jesus off the earth.
Sent deliberately.
Yes. 2,000 plus years ago. And we know he gonna come back.
Better believe that's what we waiting on.
Because if you don't, then
Did you
You
believe
against
that he
Christ.
died on the cross and rose on the third day?
No. Tree, yes.
Excuse me, say that again?
Tree, yes.
it was a
Not
Roman,
cross.
it was a Roman instrument for
Right, but do you
punishment.
believe he died and he rose on the
Yes.
third
His father
day?
was dead.
I'm just saying, but not on the cross. He was on, he died on the tree.
His father
Hung on
was
the tree. As a matter of fact, I can read that to you. It's Acts chapter 5, verse 3.
So
And
they all,
then-
so they all have a what?
Are you all Hebrew Israelites?
Oh, yes. But not really. See,
Not Hebrew.
Hebrew
Not
is
Hebrew,
Hebrew's the language.
right?
Okay, but we are.
Israelites.
Yeah.
Say Yahweh.
Yahweh
You just spoke
Yahweh.
Hebrew.
Yahweh
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yahweh
Yeah.
Say
I
Yahweh.
didn't know.
Yahweh.
You just spoke Hebrew.
I didn't know about.
Say Salaki. 12 tribes.
Well, I did not know
That's
that.
Hebrew.
You speaking Hebrew.
Because my mother is from Peru.
So what?
So my grandmother.
say
is
church, but I guess
Indian.
where
I did not
y'all
know that they were
assemble?
part of the 12 tribes.
Oh, sure.
I-
Right, but I'm saying that y'all
They came over
assemble
here
like
first.
y'all have an actual.
I didn't know.
But I'm saying outside of here.
I'm actually
We
Like,
have
where
a
do y'all
place where we
from
go
two
come together?
tribes. Two of the tribes here
Feast days and things like
mentioned.
that.
I got you.
But
The only-
our teaching
you're
is based
only
on how he's
From
from.
your father.
Where people
Right,
go
so that's
involved,
Puerto Rico.
Right.
I'm just saying.
things like that.
The church, take it wherever you
Yeah.
go.
Because
Puerto Rico.
the father carries the seed.
Right.
Appreciate y'all.
And we'll show you.
So
but we just like to stay
Ephraim,
ordered. We don't want to
Ephraim,
overthrow this conversation.
Ephraim.
Ephraim. That's right. But what's your father?
He's from Puerto Rico.
So you are based on your father.
Yes.
What's your father?
African, you black.
You are based on your father. So you a Jew and you Israel.
And what is
What's
he?
your father?
Oh, you're
Well, father. Yeah, he's his father. He's a Jew. You know. So it's the same. It's the same, but it's just how the Lord has set up the order, the structure of the kingdom. So you got the Levites, which they were set up to give the law. That's what Moses and Aaron did. So
Right.
when you go into the first 5 books, you hear about Moses and Aaron. Those are the ones that taught the law.
Right.
And gave the law. So that's according to Levi. So King David, tribe of Judah. When you think about him and read about him, it's the tribe of Judah. That's where you come in at. Christ, the tribe of Judah. He's from the same tribe. And so all of this is made up of how the Lord structured and organized his kingdom. And it's going to be the same way in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Now, her and I are from the northern kingdom. She's the chief of my tribe, Ephraim. And I'm Gad, Native American. So her father and my father was in another part of the world when your father was already with Christ. So her and I, our fathers, didn't see Christ, didn't see none of his miracles. But we had Paul to be put in place to teach us. Ephraim, all the way down to Naphtali. Because her and I, we never seen Christ. But your fathers, y'all seen Christ. Y'all seen his miracles. So Levi, Benjamin, and Judah was always right there. That's why when you read the New Testament, it speaks about Paul being of the circumcision and Paul being of the uncircumcised and Peter being according to the circumcised. So all that goes back to we actually didn't have the encounter that the Jews actually had, because we was led away due to our idolatry. We was already in another part of the world. So that's why we are called the Gentiles and y'all called Judah. Makes sense? Okay. So we follow the ways of the other nations, but this is why we having to come back and be reconciled. This is why you have reconciliation in the Bible. This is why you have backsliding in the Bible. This is why you have the Native Americans having powwows and they still have fringes on their garments because they still have kept the law, but they just haven't kept it in a fashion to the full extent, letting go of idols. So you might still held on to some things, but you still held on to your idols. Makes sense? For example, 1 Corinthians 12:2. So Ephraim and Gad, northern kingdom, southern kingdom. The Jews. But northern kingdom. We all the same people though. It's just a different tribe. Because we have lands. Even when you look at that, we have lands. You got a land Judah, you got a land Naphtali, and it's just all a remnant on the Lord giving a portion. You know, because everybody has a certain portion according to their lot. So this is what the Lord spoke according to Ephraim and Gad.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2.
Right?
Ye know that ye were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols.
But how can we used to be somebody? It's because we're Israelites. We're just following the ways of the Gentiles. But foundationally, white people, so-called white, Japanese,
Made up.
so-called Japanese, but they have biblical names. The white man is known as Esau. The Japanese man is known as Amos. Chinese man is known as Moab, as well as the women. So everybody outside of that, they're the real blood descendants of who the world knows as Gentiles, which another name for Gentile is a heathen. So how can we used to be somebody? It's letting us know what Paul is saying is that we are Israelites. We just follow their customs. And so now the Lord changed our name because when you make a divorce, you're no longer associated with that person anymore.
Right.
So the Lord has divorced the northern kingdom, but he has prophesied that he's going to bring them back by Paul. This is why Paul was sent to teach the other nations, meaning the Israelites that don't associate with God. So we're going to get another Bible verse to help you understand. So what the Lord said, let me walk to the left.
Ye know that ye were Gentiles,
Right?
carried away unto these dumb idols,
Right?
even as you were led.
Even as you were led. Let's get Ephesians 2:11. Then we're going to get Romans 11. Romans 11 and probably start at verse 16. Fact check Ephesians 2:11.
Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 11. ye in time past,
Wherefore remember. Now this is speaking to Ephraim, Gad, Naphtali, Issachar, Asher, Zebulun, Simeon, Manasseh. This is speaking to the northern kingdom. But also the Jews too fell short. And we're going to read about that in Romans chapter 11. And all of that was set up because y'all actually saw Christ. Y'all was with Christ. Y'all seen his teachings, his miracles. Y'all didn't lose the connection. But later on, a lot of this was ordained to happen. So her and I could be grafted back in. That's where you had the grafted in. So what did the Lord say?
that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh.
In the what?
In the flesh.
In the what?
In the flesh.
So how can you be a Gentile in the flesh? By not associating with circumcision. Because who was granted circumcision to be a commandment to show that we believe in God and we accept God and we follow God? Abraham.
Right.
That was in Genesis. That the Lord actually had him to establish that covenant. That's the covenant that was literally going in the course with Abraham that transpired down to Isaac and Jacob. So now her and I were already led away. So there's none of her fathers is circumcised, none of my fathers is circumcised, but that's all the Jews was doing, circumcision. That's why when you get in Acts 15, they have accounts on saying what can we do, what should be going on, what should we be teaching. No eating blood. If you circumcise, okay, but if you're not, then Paul is teaching that circumcision isn't going to avail you anything, but it's going to be the newness of your mind. So they was forcing men, they was rallying men up, come over here, pull your garment down, and they cut the foreskin off. And they thought that's what was going to bring them salvation, but that's not what's going to bring them salvation. Just as well as we teach that you got to keep the commandments, but just keeping the commandments isn't going to bring you salvation. You got to believe in the Messiah too. That's what's going to bring you salvation. Right. And you keeping the commandments by showing that you love the Lord and you're obedient and submissive to the Lord. So don't commit adultery. So now I show you that I love you. If I say I love the Heavenly Father, how can I show you that I love you? I respect you and your family, so I only deal with you as my brother. And I show you respect just as well as I show God respect. So nobody should be laying down with your wife. I show you how much I love you by showing the Lord that I love you. Thou shalt not kill. So no more killing. But what goes on in the society? Bloods and Crips.
Right.
You know, you got shootouts. You got all these games going on. So you got stealing going on. You got serving other idols going on. But you can't love one another. When the Lord said in Matthew 22:37, verse 38 and verse 39, love the Lord with all your heart, your soul, and your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
So I'm loving you, and we're loving you now by telling you got to submit to the Lord by keeping His commandments. You got to believe on Him. That's right. That's all throughout the Bible. So finishing this off.
Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision, in the flesh made by hands.
Made by hands, because somebody was trying to change the way you serve God with their hands. That's why it's the renewedness of your mind. It's not you getting baptized and dunked in the water. When Peter said the real baptism is changing how you think, changing your actions. Because you can get dunked in the water. In the Christian church, they got the homosexuals get dunked in the water, come up the same way. So that all throughout the Bible, that's not what they're talking about. So that's it on that. Romans chapter 11, verse 11.
Look at Romans chapter.
Last one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to cut you off, sir.
No, that's
Okay.
good. But yeah, we got to roll.
Book of Romans chapter 11, verse 1.
11.
Excuse me.
11 and 11.
Book of Romans. I'm over here reading what this right here is saying. Book of Romans chapter 11. He said 11:11, right? And it says, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, right? But rather, through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
What's coming to Ephraim?
Salvation is coming unto the Gentiles.
It's coming to Gad.
Salvation is coming to the Gentiles,
right?
For to provoke them to jealousy.
For to provoke them to jealousy. And I'm gonna show you one more. Let's get them popping. Let's get Maccabees. Because you, my brother, you and your son are Jews. There used to be a time period in history where y'all couldn't even see it. That's why you got the Greeks in the New Testament, and that's why you got Israelites who call themselves Greeks in the New Testament. I'm gonna show you in history what really happened and why we failing. Second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 6. Now this is good old history right here. We read this is the 1611 complete what we got right here. All the way from Ezra all the way to Second Maccabees. So this is history before we finish the Old Testament in the Bible now and jump straight to the New Testament. But this is 400 years of history that is not even in the complete Bible now.
Right.
You gotta search it and find it and get it. So you can make sure your son know about his history and the things that he had taken away from him. So 2 Maccabees 6, chapter 6 and verse 6.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 6.
Right?
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Because the Jews taught that you're supposed to keep the Sabbath day. Moses, him being the Jew. What's one of the 10 commandments? Honor the Sabbath. No work, no buying, no selling, no doing any of that. That's what the Sabbath day is. And today's the Sabbath day, according to what we teach, according to the truth. Now the world teaches that you can worship God on Sunday, but according to God, the Sabbath is Friday sundown because we tell our time by the sun, the moon, the stars, not 12 a.m. Because before any watches, any computers, any technology came on the earth, it was the sun, the moon, the stars. You can tell time, you can tell what days it is, what season it is, and things like that. So we understand that the Sabbath is Friday night when the sun goes down, and the Sabbath is over when the sun goes down, which is a couple hours, maybe an hour. So it was not lawful during the time of Alexander the Great, which after him came another European. After him came another European, and they all kept the same legislation towards the Jews.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days
Right.
or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all,
Or what?
or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
See that? But what happened if you said, I'm an Israelite, I'm a Jew?
And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled.
Who's compelled?
The Jews were compelled.
But the people in Israel right now, they aren't the real Jews. That's why they say Jewish. It's because God punished you and my fathers for going astray from him. And in 1948, that was a declaration that was made. We got taken out of our land and put on slave boats. And now we over here. And now they over there. Where everything that we have here comes from over there. They got better water, they got better air quality, they got pure food, they got the best bread, they got all of the things that we don't have. But the Lord is going to judge them when we come back to him. It ain't something we going to do, it's something he righteously going to do. But you used to could not say that you was a Jew. And it's starting to come back to that too. Because now they call it hate speech. Now they saying we anti-Semitic. Now they're saying we're causing a defamation in the society.
Right.
Now we bringing the society down, which same reason Christ got crucified, same reason John got his head chopped off, told Herod, you can't be with that woman. That's breaking the commandments of God. Oh, you want to say that? I'm in rulership. Took his head off. Same reason why Paul was in prison, while Peter and Silas was in prison. So the same thing we teach you is the same thing that's really coming back to the full court that it used to be. So what did the Lord say things were really so they can go?
The Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus,
Right?
carrying ivy.
Right?
Moreover, there went out a decree.
They went out what?
A decree.
If you say you a Jew, if you say you gonna keep the Sabbath day, if you say you're not gonna do any of that pagan stuff, if you say you're gonna keep God's commandments, a decree went out
To the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy,
right
against the Jews,
against who?
Against the Jews.
the Negro man, woman, and child.
that they should observe the same
Oh,
fashion
Jesus.
and be partakers of their sacrifice.
So they said you're gonna stop keeping God's commandments and you're gonna keep our commandments.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles
What happened to them?
should be put to death.
See that? So from that time period all the way up to the New Testament, that's why you got Greeks. All right, my brother. That's why you got the Greeks. But some of them Greeks are Israelites. but they associate and call themselves Greeks because it was a creed that said, if you say you a Negro Jew, we're gonna kill you and your child and your woman. So that's why now you don't know who you are. That's why we gotta ask, and then we gotta tell you according to teaching that the Lord told us to teach. Because people say I'm an American, I'm a Negro, and we lost our heritage all because we was rebellious, and we wanted to cleave to the white man, to the Chinese man, to the Japanese man, and we was afraid to associate ourselves with the true and living God, Yahweh, and His Son Yahweh Shai. So we got to keep the commandments.
That's what's on my birth certificate, Negro.
See that? And he's 81.
Really?
I'm learning to get down there. See right down there?
Right.
That's on my birth certificate.
On my birth certificate it says white.
I want to show you
It
something.
does. It does. And my parents says white. Even though my mom is from South America and my dad's from Puerto Rico.
Okay, Acts chapter 13.
Y'all look at this right. You gonna read it.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there was in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers,
Black man.
as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called niggers.
Nigga, it just comes in the days of the 60s. Blacks over here, whites over here. The Israelites are always called niggas, which just means black. And the Greeks, because the New Testament is Greek, because this is a Greek society that we're reading and studying about. They always called nigga, they put another G in, which means black. So before a Christian was known as a Christian, they was first followers of Christ, which is known as Israelites. Right?
All right, brothers.
This is the truth of the Bible. Whether you believe it, accept it or not, by default, what y'all just told us, y'all are Israelites. Y'all always giving the law, statutes, and commandments. So when Christ comes back to the earth, he's going to be checking for your reward, to give you a reward, a seal, according to your works. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So what that looks like. No eating pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster. You know, we understand you might be in the military, but shaving your beard is a sin. Wearing pants is a sin. You're not having your fringes on, that's a sin. So these are things that we repent. There's still sin on the earth, and there's still grace, and there's still mercy. But in that grace period, we don't know how long it is. So I had to repent. I had to stop eating pork, shrimp,
Yeah,
crab,
so
lobster.
did I.
I had to stop shaving my beard.
That was a great pork eating.
Even though I can't grow my beard like that, like him, a lot of men can't grow their beard like that. They just want to look fresh and you know, they want to look presentable to the society. Thank you, brother. You know, or they may be in the military. If you against your own will, then the Lord could have mercy on you, could have grace on you. But if you can put yourself in a position to say, I want to keep God's commandments, and ain't nobody gonna stop you. You know, how much are you willing to lose to get closer to God? You know, because you got a chance to save your household. Because you're a husband, you're a father, and what happened to King David? Lord allowed him to get his household back. His household was taken away from him, but the Lord allowed him to recover all. You know, Job. When you read the book of Job, his children died.
Right.
You know, he had all his cattle taken away from him, but his latter end, the Lord increased him more. You know, your son, he's walking in your footsteps, like Simba and Mufasa. You know, so everything you present to him, everything he's looking, it's trickling down. You know, as well as your wife. You know, the greater you are, the greater your house gonna be.
Have mercy.
All right.
See that?
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you.
All right, now Israelites.
Give all
Israelites.
Give all praises to your house.
Yeah. Hey, you got a lot of work to do, brother. I got 5 kids, so my work don't stop. See that? As soon as I leave here, I got to clock back in.
So if I want to learn more,